Hi, welcome back to the Slowpoke. Well, and let me fill you in on a little secret. If you want to play Pokemon TCG, you have to have cards in your hand. Now, Togekiss VMAX. Well, first of all, Togekiss is one of my favorite Pokemon. Pretty cool Pokemon. But Togekiss VMAX is one of those cards where, I don't know, I wasn't immediately impressed. But, there's always a big but. I think I've created a monster. No cards in your opponent's hand by turn 2. Almost every time. Let's have a look. But before we get on to the list, I want to shout out comment of the day. Got ourselves Forrest Dellinger, who was saying, look, you took my idea. This is the first thing I'm going to be building when Vivid Voltage comes out. He's talking about Sableye Orbital VMAX. That was yesterday's deck. Go check that out. If you want to be featured as the comment of the day, just leave a comment on this video. Bonus points if you can make me laugh. Okay, but let's get into the deck. So you're probably thinking, how are we going to get our opponent's hand down? Oh, well, I'm getting there. So, first of all, we start off with Togekiss VMAX. VMAX Pokemon 310 HP. With 1 attack, max glide. For 2 colorless energy, you do 120. You can search your deck for 2 cards, put them into your hand. So, these kind of attacks are always cool. It's going to help us tick over for the rest of the game. Spoiler, we are a greens deck. Who would have thought it? Shay's playing green decks again. But in combination with greens, we can essentially search out 4 cards a turn. And the deck is just solely built on getting your opponent's hand down as much as you can. So, that's max glide. Because we were colorless though, we can use powerful colorless energy, and there was a one-off Vit band in here for the longest of times, just to help us scale our damage a little bit more nicer. Worth noting, you can play sneaky one-offs like a one-off Vit band. I've even been toying around with 1 fighting energy, 1 dojo, because we are a greens deck. We will be going behind as well. But for now, they are left on the cutting room floor, but I will be profiling them when TCG comes out as well, for sure. Got 4 Togekiss V. This is our evolving V Pokemon. 200 HP, I should say. 2 attacks. You got Radiant Wind. 20 plus 70 if your opponent's active is an evolution. I've never really used this. I've used it once, I think, to close out a game while KOing an Eternatus VMAX, I believe. That was about it. And then we got Speed Wing. 3 for 130. So you're probably saying, Shay, these attacks aren't doing a lot of damage. What is going on? Now, you might be right. These attacks aren't doing the most amount of damage, but they do a lot when you consider your opponent's going to have no hand. You know, they might have, let's say, playing against Eternatus, right? They've got energy down turn 1. Turn 2, you get their hand down to 0. Unless they top deck something bonkers, they ain't doing a lot. And all of a sudden, a 120, 140, 160, if you have 2 powerful energies, all of a sudden, it's pretty good, if you know what I mean. Let's have a look. So, how are we going to get our opponent's hand down? So, I already mentioned we're a greens deck, right? So, that means we are playing 3 of the Magneton. Now, we all know I love these. These are the face of greens decks. Now, what Magneton lets you do is once during your turn, you may knock the little fella out. That's not very good. But because we're only attacking with VMAX Pokemon, we can essentially use 2 of these Magnetons in a game for no drawback. Because our opponent starts to knock out 2 VMAX, right? But cool signal, you can knock this gentleman out if you do search your deck for 3 supporter cards and put them in your hand. So, here's what we're going to be searching. Lieutenant Surge's strategy. You can only play this card if you're behind on prizes. Obviously, we're going to be behind on prizes because we knock out our Magneton. But now we can play 3 supporters this turn. Well, including that one. So, technically 2 more. So, what supporters are we going to play to get our opponent's hands down, Shay? Boom, here we go. Jesse James is still in format. Had to double check, but it is. What Jesse James does is each player discards 2 cards from their hand. Your opponent discards first. So we can go Surge, Jesse James. Your opponent has to get rid of 4 cards out of their hand. And because they're discarding first, it doesn't matter if we have cards in hand or not. It really doesn't matter. So you're probably thinking, right, well, if we play 2 of these, our opponent can still have, we're only taking 4 cards out of the hand. If they have a 7 card hand, all they have to do is just keep a research and away you go. Don't worry. I'm getting there. So we play 4 of this Weezing, also from Hidden Fates. And what this Weezing does is, if one of these Weezings is discarded by the effect of Jesse James, your opponent has to discard an extra card from their hand. And this is where it starts to get nutty. So, if we discard 2 Weezings off 1 Jesse James, your opponent has to discard 4 cards from their hand. Okay? Even if we discard 1 Weezing, our opponent has to discard 3 cards from their hand. If we then play another Jesse James, what's that? That's 5 cards out of their hand. Now, if you've been paying attention to this sequencing, we call Signal, so our opponent has 5 prizes left. Lieutenant Surge, play 2 Jesse James. All we got to do is have 1 Weezing, and we get rid of 5 cards out their hand. And because they're on 5 prizes, oh my lord, we can play a Stamp straight away. So they're on a 5 card hand, and then Bish Bash Bosh. Tabletop Simulator is not going to die on me. There we go. Bish Bash Bosh. They've now got a 0 card hand. Oh my lord. So that's the idea. That's the combo. And because we are Green's deck, in all honesty, it's not too hard to pull off. In all honesty, we've also got the Max Glide to help set things up. We don't have to do this turn 2, but it's nice if we do. Obviously, Greens, if you've got no Pokemon ability, if you've got no Pokemon and play abilities, you can search your deck for 2 trainer cards. So that is the Dirt Boy combo. We will Greens to set up our Magneton. Magneton will KO itself. We search out Surge, Jesse James. All we have to have is 1 Weezing in our hand or a way of finding one, and then we can get our opponent down to a no card hand. And that's why we play a lot of 4-ofs here, because we just want to make this consistent as possible, because getting our opponent down to a no card hand is super strong. Think about Guardian, for example. The whole deck was built around that, and think of how hard it was in that deck to do. You had to reuse Fairy Song, whatever it's called, multiple times. In this, that's our combo. And the funny thing is, because we can end our turn with a Max Glide, search our deck for 2 cards, put them in a hand, we can search out this cheeky one of. So now we're going to have cards in our hand again. We've got 1 research. So that's that. So when our opponent's got a no card hand, we don't really want them to, to play Dene, draw their hand back up. So we played 4 Power Plants. Now, so one of these could be a flex spot. Now, I was sort of toying about of having some Crushing Hammers in here as well, and I'll get to the card you can cut, but one of the Power Plants is one of those cards you can cut for sure. Power Plant is just going to stop our opponent from using stuff like Oricorio GX, or most likely the Dene GX, because that'd be awful if we get into a no card hand, they top deck Dene and just lol rip, there's 6 more cards without playing a supporter. So yeah, very good. We've got 1 boss as already. We tend up, because our opponent's got no card hand most of the time, we don't really end up having to boss much. But it's there in case we need it. 4 Quick Balls. Now again, this is one of the cards you can cut. I've made this consistent as possible just so we can get this hand lock like 90 times out of 100 games. That's not an exact percent, I'm just saying. We want that to happen as often as I can. So for that, we need 4 Quick Balls. Just so we can search out Magnemite and Togekiss, okay? We have 4 Pokecoms because we're playing Greens, and we need to have some combination of cards for this combo to work, and Pokegear helps us do that. Pokegear is a nice card, and we just turn 1 Pokegear for Greens and we're going away. Oh, worth noting, we should be going second with this deck if we win the flip, just saying. 4 Evolution Incense. This card are a godsend. Oh my lord. Greens can find you them Togekiss VMAX, Weezings, or Magneton. It basically finds us all right, because we do need to weave in 1 Weezing on that back-to-back Jesse James play, so we can get our opponent down to no card hand. So if we haven't got one of these in hand, we are going to have to go fishing for it. So by playing 4 Evolution Incense, we effectively play 8 Weezings. Also, we need to evolve up this Magneton at some point as well, so get the combo going as well. So Evolution Incense is super important for sure. And like I said, because we're colorless, we can play some funky energy. So let's have a look at these. That are probably going to be hard to flip over. So first of all, we got 4 of the powerful energies from Rebel Clash, I believe. And these are like a strong energy if you was playing back then. What these are going to do is for each one attached, your colorless Pokemon do an extra 20. So that if you have one of these attached, your max glide is 140. That's pretty cool. If you have 2, you do 160. 106 obviously a cool number, because that 2 shots pretty much everything in format outside a big fat Eternatus VMAX. So they're pretty cool. Super good energy to have. We'll just go for the other 4 of here first. So here's another really cool energy that we get to make full use of here, is Capture Energy. And what this is going to do, because we need to try and get down Magnemite and a Togekiss turn 1, right? So if we miss the Magnemite and we miss Quick Ball for whatever reason, Capture energy doubles up as more quick balls, and this is why I said you can probably cut the 4th quick ball in favor for like a crushing hammer or a vip band, or anything you like. Chip for example as well. These are all options that I haven't really tested all of them. This is just like the skeleton, most consistent way to get the hand lock, and then you can sort of build out. If you want to do more damage, you can play dojo fighting energy, or vip band. If you want to really hit that control aspect, put some chips in. So yeah, the capture energies double up with the quick balls, super cool. And it just, when you play greens decks, I say it's quite a lot, you want to take pressure off the greens. You don't want your greens to be searching out your consistency pieces. You want your greens just to keep ticking you over, right? Which is why in this deck, I like playing many of the consistency pieces, person. And then we play 3 draw energies as well. These are pretty cool. Anytime you see an extra card is always nice. I'm not like super sold on these. Like there's a lot of other options you can play instead of them. You can play like fire energy, for example. So if your opponent has giant half in play, you could play 5 energies and play a one-off welder, so you can actually get to max glide in 1 turn. Super cool. Haven't tried that, but that sounds quite funky, right? But drawing energy, in case you didn't know, when you attach it, you draw a card basically. So also makes me think as well, this could be another way to play it as well. You could play like Rotom Phone or Guru, and then you can just use or you can use draw energy to draw it as well. That's pretty funky. So yeah, let me know what you think of Togekiss HANDLOCK, guys. Do you think it's any good? Do you think I'm just being a bit crazy? I tell you, in the games I've been playing, you really can go to town, let me tell you, and get that hand straight down. But thanks for watching. If you have more Vivid Voltage deck profiles and gameplay, make sure you smash that subscribe button for me and check that playlist out in the description. I've been putting out almost a video a day of Vivid Voltage stuff. So we've only got like about a week until it comes out. Want you all to be best prepared. So you're not on the TCG ladder messing about, baby. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.